The anniversary of 9/11, and we bring in John Feal. 19 years ago, he was a demolition supervisor at Ground Zero when a 4-ton steel beam fell on his left foot, leaving him hospitalized for months. Since then, he's dedicated his life to advocating for first responders through the Feel Good Foundation and worked with comedian Jon Stewart to help raise awareness. John, thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Thank you for having me. And I am humbled to be here, especially on a day like today. Excuse me if I do cry or if I do get upset, because not only this day, but this week has been emotionally draining, physically draining. And, I have a big event tomorrow, too, where I'm under a lot of pressure to get it right.
Well, first, I want to say that it's us. We are humbled to have you. And of course, we would understand any kind of emotion. It doesn't end, even 19 years later. And so I just want to start with sharing your story. You were injured in the aftermath of the attack, not on 9/11 itself. And so then you were denied any sort of compensation. Explain to us why that is and what other first responders were also denied compensation.
Yeah. At the time, my injury was the worst thing that ever happened to me in my life. Getting denied benefits and fighting for basic benefits like workman's comp and Social Security disability was the second worst thing that ever happened in my life. But I am the worst injury at Ground Zero during the 10-month cleanup and recovery. But before everybody got sick and denied benefits, they had to prove that they had illnesses, and a lot of those illnesses were invisible. And half of my foot was in a jaw. And I didn't really think I had anything to prove other than fighting a timeline. But, when I got out of the hospital, I went from 185 pounds to 120 pounds. And I knew not only was something physically wrong with me, but there was something mentally wrong with me. And I was diagnosed by 4 doctors with post-traumatic. But from within days out of the hospital, I was doing EMDR and going to therapy. And if I didn't do that, I wouldn't be here today. I say that without hesitation. I was in a dark place. It took a long time for me to be able to help others. I didn't have the Feel Good Foundation to help John Feal. The Feel Good Foundation was created out of anger and frustration and basically a lack of action. We were a reaction to the lack of action by our state, local, and federal government. And 16, 17 years later, here I am, still being a pain in the butt.
So you said you were in a dark place. Do you feel that you've emerged from that now?
No. I think I'm going to be in a dark place the rest of my life. So, people call me up all the time and ask me for help. I have post-traumatic. I can't make it till tomorrow. I've been there. Before a lot of people got sick in 2009 or 2012 or last year, and they say they're in a dark place, I'll walk them through it. I'll take them to that dark place. I'll go there with them, and I'll sit there and I'll talk to them, and I'll hug them, and I'll hold them, and I'll cry with them, and I'll laugh with them. And I'll just sit there and listen. I'll do whatever they want, but I don't want them to be alone. The old cliche, we have good days and bad days. We have days, and that's better than the alternative. So I'll take days any time of the week than the alternative.
John, in the midst of your pain, you are certainly a bright spot to so many. Want to switch gears for a moment and get your response to a report in the Daily News alleging that the Trump administration has secretly siphoned nearly $4 million from a program that tracks and treats FDNY firefighters and medics suffering from 9/11 related illnesses. What's your reaction to that?
Well, on a day of reflection and a day of remembrance, that I even have to entertain that question, and I will. It's an insult to those who died that day, and it's an insult to those who are sick and dying and have died since 9/11. To take money from a program that we walked the halls of Congress for 15 years to get a bill passed 3 times, that angers me. But it is disturbing, and if it's true, it's repulsive. Because every time we went down there and we brought Jon Stewart, and when we go back there next Tuesday, they should be on their toes. And they should be ready for us, because I'm just not in a good mood. And I'm tired of seeing my friends suffer. I'm tired of seeing Americans suffer. And I'm tired of seeing every elected official forget their responsibility to their constituents. And there's no more legislative process in D.C.
Speaking of elected officials, lastly, I just want to play you a clip of then candidate Donald Trump in 2016 debating Senator Ted Cruz for the Republican nomination. He was responding to Cruz speaking negatively about so-called New York values.
When the World Trade Center came down, I saw something that no place on earth could have handled more beautifully, more humanely than New York. You had two 100... And everybody in the world watched, and everybody in the world loved New York and loved New Yorkers.
Subsequently, there seems to be some love lost between the president and at least the leadership of his hometown. Do you think that the Trump administration has taken care of the 9/11 first responders? And what more needs to be done by the president and by Congress?
Well, let me start off by saying I know Ted Cruz. And after 1,800 plus meetings and 300 plus trips to Washington, even his colleagues don't like Ted Cruz. So Donald Trump's right in a way. New York, no matter where there's a disaster, whether it's terrorist, man-made, Mother Nature, in the United States or around the country, New York is always there first, whether it's their resources, their time and energy, and they're always there to help out. And that's the true spirit of the human being, not the true spirit of the New Yorker or the true spirit of the American people. It's being a human being and showing empathy. So I give the president kudos to that. But has the White House, has the Senate, or has the House helped the 9/11 community enough? No, they signed a bill last year. They passed a bill because we shamed them into it. And we had Jon Stewart, who's got a voice. But there are so many issues that face this country that there are good people smarter than John Feal who have an issue dear to their heart that can't get legislation passed that will help the masses. And and I'm convinced of this, I am the youngest of 5 kids with 3 older sisters. Until there's a woman president, a woman in charge in the Senate, a woman in charge in the House, Speaker Pelosi, but I'm talking women across the board, we will never get anything done in Washington, D.C. That is a fact.
John, you have said so much that will stick with me. Among them, that some people have good days, some people have bad days, some people simply have days. John Feal, we thank you so much for your time and all that you continue to do. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. And, I hope everybody remembers those we lost 19 years ago today.
We certainly do.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.